The number one mistake I made when building this YZ450FX Supermoto.
Let's go for a ride. You are watching CycleCruza's all-in-one motorcycle channel. Subscribe today. Continue to leave video suggestions, but you may find what you're looking for by visiting my website at CycleCruza.com and click on the menu tab My Videos. And those are a bunch of playlists with all of my videos categorized in them to make it easier for you to navigate through.
For it being my very first time building up a dirt bike into a street legal Supermoto, I did very well. I'll tell you guys, everything worked out perfect except for one thing. And I'll tell you that one thing is that I should have never went with a vapor speedometer. The speedo computer there, enduro computer, whatever you want to call it. I wish I'd have never got the vapor one. The one that you want to get, that I highly recommend, is you get the Striker. This is the Striker. The reason why you want to get the Striker for your street legal dirt bike is because it lists it has a voltmeter on there, which you can add a voltmeter onto your bike. You can get the vapor and then add an extra voltmeter, but this one is really cool because it tells you when it's going low. It'll have an indicator. The light will come on if the battery goes low. The vapor, it has the RPM range that'll show you, the RPMs of the engine while you're riding, which it didn't work good for me because I did follow the instructions and wrapped it around the coil. But they tell you that you need to go ahead and hardwire it in. I wasn't willing to do all of that, like some of you guys said to do, to get the proper RPMs. But I don't need RPMs. I could care less about engine RPMs. I go by the sound of the bike and the feel of the bike. I don't need a computer showing me shift points or RPM range. I could care less. I can tell when a bike is redlining, and that's why I tell most of you guys out there, you noobs out there, don't go by the RPMs and shift lights and the shift indicator and all that. You don't need that. Use your ears and feel. You can tell which gear you're in. You can feel if the bike, you can hear if the bike is has high RPMs. If you're redlining it, it's gonna whine. It's gonna tell you shift. If it's screaming to you, it's saying shift, shift. Like I did. For those of you guys, you newbies out there that want to see how to ride a motorcycle, all the tips I give, I'll include the link to my How to Ride a Motorcycle video series in the description and comment section of this video. You can go check that out. One of them shows you the easy way to shift on a motorcycle where you don't need to look at any of this. For the street legal dirt bike, you need that voltmeter, guys, because you need to keep track of the level of your battery, mainly because when you add a headlight on, this thing uses more power. And I'm going to show you in this video here how I monitor it now much better. Because, compared to when I had the vapor on there, I had no idea what was going on with the battery.
And this is what can happen to you when you don't keep track of your battery on your street legal dirt bike.
Uh-oh, that cut off the headlight. I ran the battery down, man. Damn, now I gotta go walk this bike somewhere. First off, let's go ahead. I gotta turn everything on. See, it's at 13.3 volts. I turn that light on. Bam, it drops down. See that? I love this because, at stops, I'll cut the light off to get the power back, And this, I thought the regulator was bad on this bike because this is by the way, this is a 2019 YZ450FX. This has a stator in it, where it's going to keep the battery charged. It's where, a regular old motocross bike has it doesn't have a stator, so you have to be very careful with your battery levels, because generally you'll have to add a battery to the bike and it's not getting recharged. That's where this one is getting recharged. That's why I went with the FX version of this bike. So it's way, and I love it now because I can really see what's going on. See, I have the light off. See, it's at 13.9, 13.7. I cut the light on. It drops down in voltage. And I like that. Sometimes I'll get off the bike and cut the engine off and leave the light on. With this, I don't do that anymore because I'm always looking at that voltmeter. I'm always paying attention to that voltmeter. And like I said, oftentimes at stops even, I'll cut it off and then cut it back on when I'm, you know, starting to ride again. And I have the headlight, by the way, this isn't the most powerful one of this headlight, Baja Design's headlight design, by the way. But it still uses a fair amount of power. But it's the best for the street. It's powerful enough that it's awesome for riding out here on the street at night, and good for the trails. And it doesn't use as much power as some of the other ones do. So that's why I really like it. A lot of you guys ride your Supermotos without the light on. But honestly, that's a safety issue if you're doing that, because the lights really do help you be more visible to these cars out here. So you want to ride with your headlight on. But at stops, I would cut it off to help preserve your battery, you know. So you see, I do just fine. As long as I'm riding and I got it on here, I do just fine. And see, it stays at about 13.2, 13.3 volts, which is fine. But then when I start slowing down, it'll start going down a little bit. And like I said, when I hit to a stop, then I'll just I'll cut it off, and then when I resume riding, I'll cut it back on. And so now I'm much more cognizant of the battery level. Turn signal light and the tail light, that doesn't use much power at all. When I had that on, it barely affects the battery. You know, when I just had that on only and not the light. It's just when you click that light, boy, that's when you see that power drop. Like I said, as long as I'm riding, it's 13.2 volts. Oh, I love this thing though, but this thing really is not meant for commuting. But you can use it for commuting if you want. These things are just high maintenance though, man. You have to do, you know, oil changes at least every 12 hours if you ride. I know you don't have to do it as much as you would if you're doing trail riding and, you know, off-road, which it recommends every 7 hours. But on street, it's not being held to the same abuse as it is off-road. So generally you can go longer, but I wouldn't go any more than 12-15 hours max before changing the oil. As where my WR250R can go 3,000 miles without changing oil. You don't have to worry about it. But yet, I don't have the power like this bike has. Oh shit! Which is amazing. Like I said, it's the most fun I can have on a motorcycle. But anyways, guys, I thought I'd just share that with you so that when you do if you do a Supermoto build, get the Striker, which I'll include a link to in the description and comment section of this video to the one I have. And it's really amazing. I love it so far. I did make a custom bracket, by the way, for it. I got rid of that plastic one and I made one so that it attaches to the what you call it, the bar mount, and it's on there nice and solid and sleek now. Looks much better too, much cleaner looking. And I tell you, this build has been fantastic, man. I love everything about this bike and the build. And the Supermoto was fun, man. But I tell you, sometimes I do wish I had my dual sport knobbies on, especially when I head off-road. But anyways, guys, if you want to see the Supermoto build series on this that I did, I'll include a link to that playlist in the description and comment section of this video. Also, if you want to get my gear, you know, my camo pants, my gloves, boots, my new helmet, everything, I always include links in the description and comment section of my videos, or go to my website at CycleCruza.com and click on the menu tab, My Gear, and that's links to all my stuff.
Hit thumbs up, check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe, and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.